Are you tired of being reduced? I want you to look at this clip real fast, and then we're going to get straight into it. Let's go.
I only want you for the money and the clothes and for the bills. That's it. If you ain't getting my hair done, if you ain't getting my nails done, if you ain't doing nothing for me, then I don't need you here. It's not 50-50. It's not 80-20. It's 100% to 0.
And they wonder why men are checking out in 2023. Focus on yourself. Get your mental health right. Get your passport if you can't find a traditional woman here in America, because guys, sadly, it's getting that bad.
Black women do not care about black men, okay? Black women, unfortunately, sis, and I know y'all coming to beat me up, and I ain't talking about all us, but I'm talking about the majority. They don't even care about their children. They would rather abort their children than to give them life, okay? Black people, black men, right? You at some point, you're going to have to pick a side, right? Black men have to come back into the forefront, and you all have to take a lead if you all want to save black life. Right? Because a black woman, she can go anywhere, right? To get what she feel like she needs, right? Who's going to be there for you? Who's going to save you? I hope y'all not waiting on us, because I damn sure can't do it by myself.
I said yes to loving me. I said yes to being in a relationship with me. I said yes to being in peace and not broken into pieces. Y'all are so hard on us women for saying we're single and we loving it. You can be married and still feel like you're single. As a matter of fact, that's worse. To be in a relationship with a man or a woman that you can't stand, and y'all start living separate lives. He's doing his thing, coming in when he wants to. You doing your thing, coming in when you want to. But y'all just married on paper. But soon as a single woman is really truly single, no attachment, no, not married, not in a relationship, a committed relationship. That doesn't mean we don't go out and date, or have intimacy, or even have a companion that we talk to from time to time. We just enjoy doing things where we ain't got to be bothered.
American men, if you are watching this short, I'm a queen that is to be worshipped. There will be no 50-50, submission, or serving your needs. You will accommodate me for my time and serve me without question. Does this sound like a modern woman, laughing wickedly?
Social media convinced every woman she's a queen deserving of worship just for existing, not for being exceptional, not for contributing value, just for being. They've been told they're prizes to be won, not partners to build. The decline in traditional traits isn't about wanting women barefoot in kitchens. It's about basic adult competence disappearing while expectations skyrocket. My grandfather's generation? Those women could manage households, raise children, stretch budgets, create meals from nothing. Today, many can't boil water but expect you to be Gordon Ramsay, their therapist, and Warren Buffett combined.
And they wonder why men want to be 50-50 in 2025 and beyond. Men are not getting what they got years ago, and it's time for modern women to up their ante or be left behind. All right, guys, you looked at the clip, and we'll get into it. We often talk about modern female behavior and the treatment or the maltreatment that so many men get. And I want to challenge some of you young men on today, young and old, but especially the younger men. You are the reason why you're getting the outcomes that you're currently getting at. You are the reason, because you don't know what your value is. You don't know what your value is. And you don't have a life compass or a mental compass to determine how you're going to be treated as a man. If men would more or less begin to appraise what their values are and do it consistently, I promise you, you won't keep getting the outcomes that you're getting. And so she won't change her behavior until you change your behavior. And if she doesn't change her behavior, then that's fine if she don't change her behavior. But you have to be the change that you need to be. Narcissism cannot come into fruition unless it has a supply. One of the key prerequisites to a person being narcissistic is having what I call a hype man. And for so long, so many of you young men and old have been hype men to the behaviors that you tolerate from the women that you're dealing with. Part of being a man is having clear, consistent boundaries that's predicated in your value system. But if you continue to appraise subpar behavior and appraise her needs and wants above yours, then you are part of the problem that you complain about. Now you might ask the question, how can I change it? Well, it's simple how you change it. You change it by coming up with a new value system, and you change it by coming up with new boundaries that's consistent with your worldview. You might say, I don't know what my worldview is, and that's okay, because a lot of men don't know, due to the influx of matriarchal thinking, due to the influx of not having strong masculine communities, due to the influx of other men not galvanizing one another. But once you get serious about change and the proposition of change, then you can destroy the narcissist and destroy narcissistic tendencies from a lot of the relationships that you're currently getting now. But until you do the self-introspection, looking within yourself, know what your worth is, know what your values are, then nothing can change. You look at women like Vivica Fox and the typical modern woman that has succumbed to age, that has succumbed to bad choices, that has succumbed to bad mistakes. Many times she somehow still thinks that she's better than you, being an average hard-working man. But here's the kicker. If you really knew what your worth it was, if you really knew what your value was, then you would not allow the typical woman to continue to disrespect you as a man. And one of the biggest problems in social media now is that social media has created the modern narcissistic woman, but also social media has begun to create a new evolved man. And the new evolved man not only has standards, but the new evolved man has boundaries. The new evolved man is not willing, it's not willing to be treated disrespectfully, and the new evolved man is willing to walk away. But if you are not disciplined, and if you value female companionship, if you value sex above your masculinity as a man, then you will continue to be in that negative loop, and that negative cycle where your masculinity is being destroyed and diminished. You will be a fool to continue to live your life in this mental vacuum where you don't know what your worth is, you haven't appraised what your standards are, you haven't appraised what your values are, because you continue to allow her to tell you what the standard is, instead of you telling her this is the standard. Either you can adhere to the standard or you're free to go your separate way. See, masculine men that know what their worth is, guys, know what their values are, and know what their standards are, they don't allow women to tell them what the standard is going to be. They tell them what the standard is, and either she adheres to the standard or there's no relationship. But all too often now, because so many men have been conditioned, sadly, to minimize their needs at their sake of more or less appeasing women that are not worthy of their time, attention, and validation, that they don't tell these women the truth. You got the power to destroy the modern narcissist. I'm going to tell you something. Social media is beginning to change the outlook of how men are beginning to reclaim their value, and how men are becoming what I call the new evolutionary man, the new Renaissance male, where he's not going to tolerate disrespect. He's not going to tolerate women with a bunch of baggage, and he's not going to tolerate women they're not going to get with his program. And so you can create a new reality, or you can stay log jammed in the current reality that you're dealing with, because you continue to allow certain types of women to disarm you, to demean you, to devalue you, and to gaslight you to thinking that what you're saying and what you're feeling is not based in reality. Because one of the key components of narcissists is that they need a supply man or a hype man, And also they need to feel like that they're better than you. And so you can destroy the modern female narcissist once you begin to know what your value is, once you understand that she has one agenda, and that agenda is to aggrandize herself, once you understand that you weren't put on this planet to be a servant to her fickle needs, but in healthy relationships, it's compromised on your end, but also it's compromised on her end. And when she compromises to get with your program, then she's going to be greatly benefited from. But we understand, guys, that sadly, some men are going to hear this and some men are not going to adhere to what I'm talking about. And also because of the advent of technology, the advent of jobs, the advent of women becoming more into careers, it's more or less told them that they don't need a man or they don't need you as a man. But see, the greatest misnomer is that men and women need each other. Men don't need women for survival, but I believe that men and women are better, and society is better when men and women come together in unison and they work together as a team to get the proper outcomes that are beneficial for society. But you can't change the trajectory of the modern woman until you do the change within yourself. That's why you guys need to come see me for a non-diagnostic clinical consultation at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's right, kosherclinician@gmail.com. You got to identify what your negative thoughts are. You got to identify what your schemas are. You got to identify how your childhood and how your attachment styles and your attachment types are keeping you in this mental log jam. And then you got to come up with the prerequisite coping mechanisms to help change the current outcomes that you're currently getting there in relationships. Once again, she has no power but the power that you give her. And when you begin to change and look within yourself and become the change that you need to be, she will have no other choice but to change, or she will be left behind. Are you willing and ready to take the requisite steps to become the next Renaissance man or the evolutionary man? Are you tired of always appeasing her fickle needs and her fickle whims? Are you ready for a co-equal relationship where you benefit and she benefits? Come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. I'm going to get you right. As you guys know, I am a licensed clinical therapist, and I want to see you men win. I want to see young men and older men win. I don't want to see you guys walk out into perpetuity, minimizing your power, not knowing what your worth is, and suffering in silence or dying before the appropriate time due to stress, due to brokenness, and due to relationships. And once again, we're not talking about evolved women that have good emotional regulation. They respect and honor their men. They understand the assignment. They understand that relationships takes people. They understand that relationships are hard work. They understand that there are benefits when men and women work together. We're not talking about the evolved woman. But what we are talking about are narcissistic modern women that tend to think they're better than you. Some of these women are older women as well. They're not necessarily bona fide narcissists as far as the diagnosis, but they do have high narcissistic traits where they keep trying to tell you men what your standard is instead of becoming the standard. Are you ready to become the standard in 2025 and beyond? Look at this video, hit the like button. If you need further help, hit me at kosherclinician@gmail.com for a non-diagnostic consultation. I'm gonna get you ready, I'm gonna get you right, and I'm gonna give you a reason and a responsibility to become the best man that you can be. Be well, guys.